Queen Elizabeth II, the longest reigning monarch in the British history, had passed away at the age of 96, leaving the whole world in a state of shock and grief. Born in 1926 to King George VI and Queen Elizabeth, the head of the state took her last breath yesterday at the Balmoral Castle in Scotland, and posted that it will be Prince Charles now who will be now declared and announced as the new king.
The death of Her Majesty the Queen is a huge shock to the nation and to the world. Queen Elizabeth II was the rock on which modern Britain was built. Our country has grown and flourished under her reign. She has been our longest ever reigning monarch. It's an extraordinary achievement to have presided with such dignity and grace for 70 years. Her life of service stretched beyond most of our living memories. Today, the crown passes, as it has done for more than 1,000 years, to our new monarch, our new head of state, His Majesty, King Charles III.
With the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, an historic reign and a long life devoted to duty, family, faith and service has come to an end. This is a morning of sadness for the world, for the Commonwealth and all Australians. It is a day of profound sadness and grief for the royal family, who have lost a beloved mother, grandmother and great-grandmother, the person who for so long was their greatest inner strength. Australian hearts go out to the people of the United Kingdom who mourn today, knowing they will feel they have lost part of what makes their nation whole. It is a time of mourning for the people in Britain, across the Commonwealth and indeed around the world.
Let me go across to Srinjoy now. Srinjoy, the longest reigning monarch when it comes to the United Kingdom, that had just celebrated the Queen's Platinum Jubilee to mark 70 years of service to the nation, with grand events that were just held around 2 months back.
Undoubtedly, it has to be remembered that Queen Elizabeth was crowned at a time when the world was entirely different. Joseph Stalin, the General Secretary of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, had just passed away. India had just held the Lok Sabha elections. The 5-year plan had taken place. It was that long ago. Now, of course, the one thing India will remember Elizabeth for was during one of her visits in the late 90s. She went to Jallianwala Bagh and expressed regret for it. That is something that probably be remembered by many Indians. Of course, it has to be said that she was an international figure, and the points that have been made about quiet dignity are very true, particularly considering how dysfunctional her family has been. There has been scandal after scandal, but she has been very firm, very dignified, and quite a rock. Now, of course, we have King Charles III, and there haven't been many Charleses. There have been, 8 Edwards and 6 Georges and 4 Williams. And there will probably be a 5th William after Charles, who may not have a very long reign because he's already about 70 years old. But we have King Charles III now, who has very different views on a number of things. He is very interested in the environment. He is very interested in sustainable development. He has other interests which are very, very different from previous British monarchs. He also is extremely outspoken about issues like architecture. He once said that the new buildings in London were execrable. He felt that, even if Hitler's planes had destroyed buildings in London, Hitler and his planes, warplanes, at least had not built all these buildings. So he has very strong views, and we will have to see how his reign, which is likely to be short and certainly not as long as his mother's, turns out to be, because this is an important time in Britain. Queen Elizabeth was one of the most popular members of the British royal family. There can be no dispute about it. to take over from her and have a reign that is not likely to be long is also going to be challenging. As far as India, Prince Charles, when he was Prince of Wales, has come several times, and he is very well aware and very understanding of India. We will have to see what he does when he does become king.